Hey everyone, it's Cam, and today I want to talk about grounding and rocks. Now, you guys know I love crystals, and there's a lot of different crystals that you can use for grounding. I do have some videos that can also help you with grounding. I have meditation videos, and I have information on my website about the Earth Star chakra and the root chakra, and for grounding purposes. I have a free ebook with body layouts that could help you with the Earth Star and well, all the chakras, but different body layouts with crystals that you can use to help with grounding. But today I want to talk about rocks. Well, before we get into the rocks, I do want to say that a couple of years ago, several psychic mediums told me that my life purpose is to help ground spiritual energies. To help people come back to this planet to do what they need to do. Many people, when they start working with crystals, when you start with your spiritual journey, you want to do astral projection, you want to find out your past lives, and you want to learn if you're a star seed or an earth angel or an indigo, or if you're one of the light workers and all these fancy terms. And I'm not saying any of that's wrong. Please, no, I'm not saying any of that's wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of times when we start out on this spiritual journey, we go down that rabbit hole. And what happens, and I think we do need to experience that. That's not what I'm saying. But I think what happens to some people, it happened to me, and it happened to a lot of people that I started this spiritual journey with. There was like a group of us, and we're kind of going down that same path right now. That realization, well, wait a minute. You get so detached from this planet. Not everybody. Some people I know I did, got very detached from this planet, and all I wanted to do was meditate and not be here, right? And I wanted to just like explore the astral realm and go to the next dimension and ascension and that kind of thing. And it's very exciting. And then I went to a group meditation for the solar eclipse. I know, it was my first time ever going to a group thing. Like, I'm not a group person. That's what I'm saying. Like, the past few years of being on this spiritual journey really isolated me. I felt like very isolated. I didn't want to like deal with people anymore. I just kind of wanted to go in and do my own thing, which I've always had that a little bit, but over the past few years it's been worse. So I went to this group thing, and the psychic told me, your spiritual purpose is to help ground people, to help them on their journey on this planet. And I was like, I know. So years later, hearing it from another person, it just was like it blew my mind. I mean, I knew it already, but it was just total clarification. It was just clarified, and maybe that it's the time to start helping with that. I know a lot of people want to work on psychic abilities and things like that, and I still am doing that. But I also think it's so important. That whole grounding aspect is huge. A tree with weak roots will fall over. You have to have strong foundation. All right. So a lot of times we go into this spiritual journey, and we're all like putting crystals on our third eye and putting crystals around the crown chakra and opening all kinds of shit, and you're opening up all these like portals and pathways, and all this stuff comes in. And let me tell you, if you don't know what the freak you're doing, it's scary shizzle, and I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying you need to be grounded. And maybe not everybody. I know a lot of people that don't want to be here. I'm talking to anybody that this might resonate with. Okay, if it doesn't resonate with you, you can just click off the video and go somewhere else. I'm talking to people that feel very flighty, dizzy, unbalanced, not planted here, not sure about their career, their path, feeling insecure about their life here, that kind of thing. It's not always about being up in different realms and other dimensions and talking with angels and guides and totem animals, and it's not all about that. It's fun to get that. It's fun to do those things. But if you're not grounded, you're just going to go like a dog chasing its tail. You notice that a lot of people in the spiritual community, a lot of people that I know are like dogs chasing their tails. And I'm not judging anybody because I went through this. I'm going through this round and round and on that carousel. And I went on vacation. And this is kind of what really, really woke me up. I went on vacation. I had the most glorious vacation in Cape Cod. I still I didn't share a whole lot of it. I said I was going to share a whole lot of it, but I just never got around to doing it. But I wanted to share this. So I went on vacation. I went to Cape Cod, and we went to the beach at least 3 times. And if you've ever been to Cape Cod, they have amazing beaches that are just full of rocks. Barry Manilow has a song, Time in New England, and he goes, the long rocky beaches, and it's true. Long rocky beaches. Beautiful rocks. Quartzite, feldspars, granite, all kinds of rocks. So I was at the beach and I did something that I haven't done probably since I was a kid. I actually sat, I don't even know if I've ever done this as a kid, but I actually sat on the shoreline, a little bit of water, in the wet sand, looking at rocks. And I mean, there are just rocks everywhere. So I just kind of made a space for me to sit. I dug a hole so that there was water in it so that I can swish the rock in the water and clean it off. And I just sat there for hours and I looked at rocks. I felt them, I touched, I was caressing the rocks, I was holding them, and these rocks brought me so much joy. By the end of my vacation, I was so incredibly grounded that I had a sense of peace. I had more of a purpose. I felt more organized, happier. And it wasn't just that because I was on vacation. Because, sometimes you go on vacation and you have this great experience, this great time. And in a couple of days, you get right back into life and life is chaotic again, right? This stayed with me. This grounding experience stayed with me for a very long time. But you can use crystals, and I'm not saying don't use crystals. You have red jasper, you have smoky quartz, and hematite, and there's so many grounding crystals. Black tourmaline, right? Lodestone, magnetite. So many different crystals that you can use. But I gotta tell you, the rocks at the beach were the most amazing grounding experience that I had ever had. Now, maybe it was a combination of being at the beach, because sand is crushed rock and shell and minerals and such. And so just being at the beach in itself is grounding. When you put your feet in the sand, it's just a grounding experience in of itself. It was the rocks that really put it over the edge for me. And I have a few here. And I see there's some larger ones. And I think this is quartzite, right? Because rocks are many minerals combined. And to actually know what exactly is in them, I don't know. I think this is a kind of granite. There's mica in this one. I don't know if you can see. Little speck. So there's mica in this one. I get so excited. And I think these are granites. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, the rocks. I don't know how many of you actually thought about working with rocks in terms of grounding. You can use them with their crystals too, or you can just use the rocks. Now I put rocks in like a vase, like little ones, I put them around a candle. And then I have a few outside, like, bigger ones. I have these outside too, and I think I'm going to bring them in now for the winter so I have something to hold on to. So working with the rocks versus working with crystals, I don't think it's really all that different. It doesn't have the crystalline structure that crystals have, that, atomic repeating structure kind of thing. But they're so freaking grounding. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you just like hold on to a rock and it's like, wow. They don't put you out there, It doesn't give you the vibration, like that jittery crystal high thing. Like when I work with a lot of quartzes and dambarite and apophyllite and things like that, I tend to get really flighty and giddy and forgetful, and there's a place for that. And those are great for meditation. And if you're working on dream work, or you're working on your spiritual gifts, or balancing chakras, there's a place for it. Absolutely. And I continue to do that as well. But in terms of grounding, I am finding these to be much more grounding than a regular crystal. And I just have to hold it. And I'm like, oh, and I could just imagine myself putting my feet back in the sand. So I just wanted to share that with you, that for grounding purposes and just keeping me stable, it's just helped me with my stability, if that makes any sense. So I can still do dream work and I can still do meditation, and I just feel more focused, more present, more centered. And I am so much happier. I think I found that balance of um, of the high vibrational crystal, that energy, that vibration, that seeing, through the veil, and I found that balance between that and here, this planet. And it was just an eye-opening experience for me. So now, um, when I'm really stressed and I feel like I need grounding, I actually go for my rock. I still grab my rose quartz, my lepidolite and things. Don't get me wrong, I still do all that. But when I need to get my feet back on this planet and get shit done, I grab a rock. And I remember how it was on the beach and how I felt and that amazing experience. And so I just wanted to share that with you. It was just really, for me, it was so life-changing. I went from being really confused and apathetic toward my career, everything. Just like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Like, I totally failed. I felt like I failed. And this brought me back here so that I can do what I need to do. We need some grounding. We need to get back to humanity, get back to helping one another and loving one another. We get into the spiritual communities, but there's so much negativity in the spiritual community. It's so weird. It's so like we're supposed to be loving and kind and accepting, and we're so not. You know why? Because we're not grounded. There's got to be that balance, yin, yang. That's my rock story. That's my Cape Cod story. That's my grounding story. Kind of where I'm at right now. And I just want to share that. And wherever you are in your journey, I just hope that you're doing well and that you're happy, that you're healthy, that you have love in your life and in your heart. I hope you got something out of this video. Please let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that bell again so you get notifications. Please share the video if you liked it too. And as always, have a blessed day. Bye.